Hello again and welcome to another edition of #Nowsmoking. I'm Gary Korb, your host from cigaradvisor.com, and I'm here again with the amazing Khuong Pham.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. We love having Khuong on the show.
Great to be back.
He's just a cool guy. And I like the way he talks about cigars too. And we are going to smoke something really kind of special today. And this is the La Coalicion Gordito from Drew Estate and Crown Heads.
Right.
And you buy for Drew Estate.
I buy for Drew Estate, but
But you don't buy for Crown Heads.
No. and this is a new cigar.
Yes, and so we have not smoked it.
No.
So this is the initial test drive for us. And this is a really nice looking cigar. This is the Gordito. It's a 5.5 by 50 Robusto. They call it the Gordito. And it's got a nice looking band on it, gold and red.
Very
kind of
regal.
Reddish, maroonish.
Yeah.
You know, but the wrapper, which is a Connecticut broadleaf, is really gorgeous. And of course, I must mention that Willie Herrera played a big role in putting this thing together. And Willie does great stuff, and you know that. So let's see, it's got a nice triple seam cap on here. How does it smell?
You know how Nicaraguan cigars have that barnyard smell to it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of that. I mean, you know, you get some of that sweet grassy kind of, you know, let's see. I'm getting a little sweetness off of there, and a little mix of, I don't know, it's kind of like a, I don't know, almost a nutty flavor maybe. I don't know. You know, it's hard to tell. I never really can judge a cigar that well on that, but it's really well rolled. I mean, it's pretty seamless. I mean, I can't even see the seams.
No.
And it's toothy, a little bumpy, but you know, I think that when cigars have like some veinage or a little bump, it gives a character.
Right.
You know,
I think so
like
too.
That.
Yeah.
So let's clip it. Let's light it. Let's get going.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm using the straight cutter this week. I used the V cutter last couple of episodes, and I'm back to the straight cutter. I just think I get a better draw overall.
Great draw.
Yeah, it's just right. And the you're getting a little bit of like a sweetness, but with almost like a little licoricey kind of flavor.
Oh, really?
How about you?
I'm getting like a grassy kind of hay.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, let's see how it smokes. Yeah, so Willie Herrera, John Huber, Jonathan Drew, everybody's in on this one. All right, it's lighting up really nice. Really nice. Wow, that is really good.
Thick, dense smoke right away. Very earthy.
Yeah. Very dense, very creamy. Yeah, I'm getting sort of that earthiness too. But we should ever get some sweetness out of it.
I'm getting some dark cocoa.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit of pepper.
But there's no sense of the sweetness that is, you know, like you find in, you know, classic Nicaraguan.
Yeah. Well, this blend, which we're going to get into in the next segment, is kind of interesting. He's using a Sumatra binder, and they refer to it as a spicy Sumatra binder.
Okay.
So that might be adding a little bit of that pepper I'm getting, but I don't know. I think we're off to a pretty good start. It looks like it's going to be burning pretty nicely, and we'll see what happens when we get more into Act 1. We are back, and we are in Act 1 with the La Coalicion, which is the coalition in English. And I'm here with Khuong Pham, who's one of our senior buyers. I'll call you a senior buyer.
I guess.
You've been here a long
I'll
time.
take it.
All right, but anyway, let's talk a little bit about the La Coalicion blend. I got the press release here. And as we mentioned earlier, it has a Connecticut broadleaf, which is really gorgeous.
It is.
It's really dark. It's even in color. It's very toothy. I'm getting a great burn on this. Huh?
Yeah.
And the smoke is it's just really
just letting it sit, seeing how it just
yeah.
billows. So much smoke coming off of it.
I know it's a lot of Drew Estate cigars do that, but this is actually a Crown Head cigar, but it's made
in collaboration
with by Willie Herrera. And I don't know, it's something about those cigars, but we mentioned the broadleaf wrapper that's got a Sumatran binder, and the fillers are Nicaraguan and Dominican.
Okay.
So the deal with this was they said that I can't wait to see what our fans think of this collaborative blend between Huber and myself, says Willie Herrera. The blending process led us to select beautiful Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, who said that bursts with flavor. All right.
They're right about that.
On the other side, John Huber says, from Crown Heads, I can sum up my feelings in one word: pumped. We are so thrilled for our consumers to be able to light up and enjoy this passion project between Willie and myself. So John and Willie, really the guys behind this. And of course, Jonathan Drew had to chime in, and he said, at Drew Estate, we take the process of creating new brands very seriously, and each brand must be created with a significant purpose and divine inspiration. Like creating a miracle. It's almost religious for us. I deeply appreciate La Coalition and celebrate its birth. I'm going to rock out on some Eric B. and Rakim today. But anyway, this also comes in several other sizes. Now, this is the Gordito. It's 5.5 by 50. It's also available in a Corona Gorda. I almost chose that one because that's a 5 by 46.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice dimension. And then the Siglo is a 6 by 52, which I guess is a Toro basically. And then the Sublime, which is a 6.5 by 54. That is probably a figurado of some kind. But anyway, so there you have it. Everything you ever want to know about La Coalition and the great guys behind it at Drew Estate and Crown Head. So this burn, like I said earlier, it's just really nice. Look at this.
It's razor sharp.
You can tell the ash is really really strong.
And if you take a look closely, you can actually see the oils showing up right there. And maybe that's why it's smoking so much, and it produces so much flavorful smoke.
There's something about the Connecticut wrappers they use on like on the Liga Privada, the T52. Well, the T52 for sure. They're just
super oily.
I'm not getting that oil, but I am getting a little bit.
Right. But you definitely see it on this one right here.
Stuff there. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Wow.
That's amazing. It reminds me of another Crown Heads project called Black Belt Buckle.
Black Belt Buckle.
This has that kind of profile to it.
Well, that's made for Famous, right? It's a Famous exclusive, and that is the original Black Belt Buckle blend from Crown Heads.
Right.
I apologize for not remembering the original wrapper. Do you remember the original wrapper?
I don't.
But then they did it for Famous Smoke Shop as an exclusive, and they put the Connecticut broadleaf on it because Huber said, I really want to try this blend with the Connecticut broadleaf, and he said, so here you go, guys, and it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
So I just would be good comparison. So I'm glad you brought that up because this is La Coalition. You know what? Jared had one of these, and he said he found it kind of on the strong side. But I'm finding it really nice, like medium, almost medium plus.
Medium plus,
just real smooth.
for sure. It's definitely rich. It's so rich in flavor.
Yeah.
Dark, rich, I'm getting that deep dark cocoa flavor.
You are getting more of that cocoa
Yeah.
flavor. I don't know if I picked that up yet, but
lots of spice as well.
yeah, it is spicy, and they say that the spice is probably a combination between that binder
The Sumatra.
and maybe whatever Nicaraguan they put in there.
Right.
Maybe some high priming stuff. But I'm gonna ash it. First I'm gonna test it. Yeah, it's pretty firm. This probably could have gone a lot longer.
Yeah.
But look at this. Hold on. That's a really nice crown on there, right? It's hitting on everything. I like when it has a lot of smoke. You know, I like a
Yeah.
smoky cigar.
This would definitely fill up a room.
Oh yeah.
You know, you get a couple, your buddies sitting around smoking this. It's gonna fill up the room. Wow, look at the oils on that.
Yeah, you see, you're getting more oil than I am. Just a little bit there, but I don't know if you can see it on camera. But yours is definitely visible. But it's just they really did a great job.
Right.
And I'm getting mostly earthiness. You know, earthy. I haven't picked up that cocoa yet. A little bit of pepper, but it's really well balanced.
It is.
And that's what I like too. And I usually like a sweeter cigar, and you would think that with the Connecticut broadleaf it would be a little sweeter. But I'm not getting that sugary sweetness. I'm getting like a bittersweet. I don't know, maybe that's where the cocoa is. Maybe it's more like a bittersweet dark chocolate kind of a taste. Let me see.
And it started out on the strong side for me. It definitely mellowed out within that 1 inch.
Okay.
It mellowed out for me, which is really nice because it was a little bit intense at first.
Yeah.
And then it mellows out, and it's very, very well balanced right now.
Yeah, and it's pretty much locked into, for me, for kind of an earthy, and I would say there's also some woodiness to it too. Kind of a flavor with that spice going on, and a long finish. And that's
leathery taste, leathery.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot happening.
Act 1, I guess, was pretty much a big hit. So let's see what happens in Act 2. All right, we're in Act 2 of the La Coalicion Gordito from Crown Heads in collaboration with Drew Estate, Willie Herrera, John Huber, Jonathan Drew, everybody, everybody, and they're all great people. And I really mean that because I've known them for many, many years, especially John Huber and Drew. Just so nice. So look at this. And I'm getting a little more sweetness now.
Right.
Are you getting a little sweeter?
It is. But I also think that we're picking that flavor up because the intensity has dropped off a little bit as well. Okay,
I would agree with that. It's still more like in a medium full range for me. How about the retrohale? You done that?
It's much easier now. The peppery spiciness has dissipated as well.
Yeah, it's not that peppery at all. It's actually kind of smooth. And again, I'm getting another really great ash here. It's just really, really terrific. Yeah. Now, speaking of sweetness, I had to take another puff. Before we started today, you suggested that we put some salt on our tongue.
Right.
Talk about that. What was that all about?
So I was looking at how salt plays into our taste buds, and you know how you have like chocolate with salt.
Right. Salted caramel.
Right.
That's really big.
Salt and caramel. Well, what does salt do? It actually, I guess, intensifies the flavor of the chocolate or the caramel. Okay. So I thought, I wonder what it would do to cigars. So what we did was we took some rock salt and we just put it on our tongue and kind of sucked on it for a little bit, and so we just did this.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Because we've had coffee and.
I'm gonna get a little bit more.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. You did wash your hands, right?
No.
I should have.
Okay, let's try it.
So you said put it in the middle of your tongue.
Yeah, right. Put it in the middle of the tongue. And to see how that.
Well, it's very salty. All right, let's see what happens.
All right, let's try it. Now that's interesting, because well, obviously you taste the salt.
Yeah, it's very salty.
But once the salt dissipates, and you take a couple more puffs.
All right, let me ash this.
Wow, that's a lot of smoke. I think that the flavor of the tobacco gets singled out. I'm getting more of that deeper, richer flavor. Even though earlier I said that the strength had dissipated and the spiciness dissipated, I think I'm getting more of that cocoa flavor that I had in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm definitely noticing a difference. It's I don't know if it's tasting sweeter, but there are some things that are standing out a little more. I'm finding a lot of oakiness in this cigar.
Right.
Kind of a woodiness. I'd even say like some of the sweetness is even like a sweet cedar kind of a sweetness. I'm not getting that.
That cocoa.
I got a little bit of that dark chocolatey kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm seeing if it'll come through the retrohale, but let's see.
I'm getting a lot more woodsy flavor.
Yeah, okay. So we're in sync with that. But getting down to the band there. I guess I'm smoking a little faster again than you.
It definitely changes the flavor of the cigar.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Like when we went to the Avanti factory, we did this tasting thing and they gave us all these different things to taste before we had the cigar, like cheese, there was grapes, there was, and it was very interesting the way, and I think they had some bourbon too, or some kind of liquor, and I think it was Desano or Deserrano, something like that. That was interesting.
Like an amaretto.
Yeah, that was, I think Deserano was like cherry or something, and the amaretto is almonds, but that really had an interesting effect on the taste of the smoke.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
That was interesting. Salt. It's not just for chocolate and caramel.
Right. I mean, it's worth giving it a shot, So I'm going to see. I'm going to down it with some coffee first. All right. So there's still a little bit of salt left. Let's see how it tastes now. Yeah, I'm just getting I guess you could call this like kind of sweet tobacco, oak, still some of that Nicaraguan earth in there, and
cedary, woodsy flavor.
Yeah, you know what? It's real consistent.
Yeah.
It's been really good, really well balanced all the way through, and I like that because usually when we get into the next act, the final third there, you would expect it to get very strong or whatever. We'll see what happens, but this is really been impressive so far.
I love it,
and I can see why a lot of people are talking about it. There's a lot of publicity on this cigar right now, social media and stuff. And I don't think it's just because it's a collaboration. It's just a damn good cigar,
right?
So, and Crowned Heads actually, I think most of their marketing, I think, is really conducted on social media. They really got a handle on that.
They really do.
And John Huber told me once, he says, we'll put out an announcement that something new is coming out. It'll be sold out like in a day.
Before it even hits print.
Yeah, it's just really amazing. They make some really great stuff. What I like by them too is I love the Jericho Hill.
Right.
And what else? I like the La Carême, like that a lot. And just everything they do is really consistent because they have two factories, and they decide whether it's going to be made at my father or with Ernesto Carrillo at his place, and now they've worked with Drew Estate and Willie Herrera, and again, it's just right in the pocket, with the Crowned Heads catalog.
Right. Now they also have another one called La Imperiosa.
La Imperiosa, yeah.
That is such a great cigar.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
cigar.
nice too.
But this is a great addition to the lineup.
Absolutely. And what was the other one that came out recently? The Court Reserve, or I think it was called something like that. That was nice. They just really have. Huber and Herrera. I would have liked to have been there. When they were working on this cigar. Because they both have really good palates. And Huber says, I'm not a blender, but he does.
He is.
He's definitely making some decisions.
Sure.
But Willie, I guess, Willie do his thing, and it's interesting because you're getting the best of both worlds.
Right. Well, I heard that Drew Estate is going to restart their cigar safari in 2020.
Oh wow!
And it's been in hiatus for about 2 years.
Because there were some problems in Nicaragua.
Right. So that's great news to see them.
Now, have you been on the safari?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not done that.
Yeah. I was on the very last one.
Oh, that's right. Was that when you told the story about how you couldn't get out?
Right.
And oh my God. Oh wow, that was crazy. Well, I got to tell you, that Act 2 has been every bit as good as Act 1, and it's getting even better. So let's see what happens when we get down to the final third. All right, welcome to Act 3 of the La Coalition. I'm here with Khuong Pham, who is one of our buyers for famous-smoke.com, where you can buy La Coalition and all the other great Crown Head cigars. And speaking of Crown Heads, I don't know, for those of you who are watching who do not know much about Crown Heads, the heads of the company are John Huber and Mike Conder, and they both work for CAO.
Right.
And I think Mike was in marketing, and so was John. But John used to be in charge of like the like when they would do an event,
right,
stuff like that. And he used to set up these incredible parties at the what used to be the IPCPR
right.
Shows in Vegas.
RTDA.
Or wherever they were. RTDA, yeah. So John,
days?
and I've known him for many years. He's always been very gracious
it's a great
to
guy.
me, and he's been on my Master Blender show, and Mike's been on with him, and I just really like the cigar. And what's interesting too is they're based in Nashville, which is where CAO was. So when Conder and Huber started the company, they said, well, we're going to stay here in Nashville.
Right.
We don't want to move to Miami,
right,
where everybody else is.
It's so unlike the other brands who are all based in Florida.
Yeah, yeah. And they do have like kind of this southern theme going through a lot of their, like I would say like American folk history or folk tales, or think like some of the cigars are named for like characters that come out of American folklore,
right,
and stuff like that. And they love Johnny Cash, and they, sometimes they'll even take something from a song, like a Led Zeppelin song,
or a recording studio, Headley Grange.
Headley Grange, yeah, right, which was their Led Zeppelin, and I think Black Belt Buckle came from a Kings of Leon song. So they're really into music. So being in Nashville area, it all makes sense.
Right.
It all meshes. But let's talk about this cigar in terms of its complexity. Do you find it complex? I think it is.
I definitely think it is. I mean, it changed.
It's definitely changing.
It went from spicy powerhouse in the beginning, mellowed out, developed that woodsy, leathery flavor, and it keeps you interested the entire way.
Yeah, it does. And I'm finding it now even sweeter.
Yeah.
So it's picking up in that sweetness that I like. And
which is kind of the opposite of what you would think when a cigar goes down. It intensifies, gets a little bit more bitter. This one actually got sweeter.
It really did. And you know what? That last retrohale I just did had a little more zap to it. How about you? It's got a little more pepper in there now.
It's beginning to pick up a little bit.
Yeah. So you found you did early on. You got pepper, then it kind of smoothed out. That's where I hit it.
Yeah.
And I agreed with you there. And now again, it's peppery.
Right.
So, but let's talk about drinks because we like to drink, right?
Sure do.
What would you pair with this?
To match its sweetness and its full body flavor, I think something like a Japanese whiskey.
Japanese whiskey, that's interesting because I was at my brother's a few weeks ago for Thanksgiving, and he introduced me to this Japanese scotch, and it's called Hibiki, I think, and it's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
So I would definitely pair this with Hibiki. It had a little sweetness to it, and just a little bit of spice, and it was really, really wonderful. So definitely try the Hibiki. It's a little bit pricey. It's kind of a luxury scotch, but man,
I think it's a perfect match for this.
I do too. And I would even say if you want something even sweeter, maybe something like Gentleman Jack from Jack Daniels.
Right.
That's a little sweeter. Actually, it's a lot sweeter. But what I like about the Hibiki, it's kind of mellow at the same time. It's just really, really good.
And it won't overcome the flavor of the cigar.
No, not at all. Because there's a lot of good earthiness to this, and that you get that bold Nicaraguan flavor, but at the same time you're getting that little sweetness off the Connecticut broadleaf. You're getting the spice out of the binder.
Right.
Everything's working together. It's working. So
I think that's a great pair. I'm going to take this, and that band comes
Get
off
that band off of
beautifully.
there. So anyway, La Coalicion is available at famous-smoke.com. As I said, they come in a box of 20, and it's really beautiful what they did here. Look at the they have this sort of old knights in here of, like, I guess the Crusades or something. I don't know. It's a really nice artwork, and all the little medals and medallions that tobacco companies get. And speaking of the medallions, I think Jared wrote an article about the medallions, or maybe it was John Pulo, about where these medallions come from. I think it was John. And it's very interesting. These tobacco companies, they get awards for, like, their tobacco, and they go to these, or at least in the old days, they would go to these tobacco shows or a fair or some kind of an international fair, and they would judge the tobacco, and they would get a medal, And these are really nice. You got the crown heads here. There should be. Usually there's something from the state of Tennessee. They're very loyal to their state of Tennessee, so they do stuff like that. But anyway, it's a really beautiful cigar, and I'm really digging it, man. It's great with the coffee.
Yeah.
But I think that Hibiki would be
perfect.
Really, really nice. So would you say it's Humidor worthy? I always ask that, but I have to.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, this is Humidor
This is a
worthy.
keeper. Yeah, and I got to tell you, now these are relatively new in terms of when they've arrived. I think it was in the last few weeks.
Right.
So I think with a little bit of home aging, they're going to round out even more.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
It's really going to be nice. The other thing I wanted to ask you. Wow, that's really good. Who's this for?
Oh.
Who smokes this cigar?
That's a great question. I would say someone who is a intermediate to advanced smoker.
Yeah, definitely.
Will really enjoy this. Someone that is just starting out, maybe wait, a few boxes in before you give this a shot.
Right. Or start with the black belt buckle.
Yeah.
Start with that, and it'd be nice to compare the two. This is a little more refined, I think, in terms of the blending and the complexity. Mm-hmm. But they're both excellent cigars, and also I would say, from the Drew Estate side, compare it to a T52 Liga.
Right.
Because that has a Connecticut broadleaf on it, it's a stalk cut, and
I tell you what, that retro hail is beautiful.
I'm going to try that again.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, now that one was smooth. It's like everything's like
it changes.
Moving all over the place.
Like I said, it keeps you interested.
It does keep you interested. That's a thing that a lot of cigar lovers really like. And I like that too, Although also I like cigars where you really don't have to think about them very much, I just let them smoke and kind of let them do their thing,
And I think that's also a function of experience. After you smoked for a few years, you enjoy different cigars.
You do.
Maybe when you first start out, you're just particular to mild, or something that's infused. Mm-hmm. But as you grow in experience, you really enjoy the nuances of all of the flavors.
Yeah. Yeah, it does take a while. Mm-hmm. It's not something that happens overnight. And I always tell cigar smokers, especially new cigar smokers, try a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. Try a full-bodied cigar.
Right.
See how you like it. I met a guy once. He said the first cigar he ever smoked was a Padron 1926 or something like that.
Wow.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah, I loved it.
That's great.
That's okay. And he just loves that kind of stuff.
But being a new cigar smoker, it's really like the best time because everything is great.
I know.
You get to experience everything for the first time.
Yeah. And there are all these like new little boutique companies that are just making great stuff. Like Aganorsa and HVC, and have you noticed that? You're a buyer. Is the cigar smoking world becoming more boutique in terms of what people are going after, what they're smoking, what they're buying?
I believe that's true. People are are more into different experiences now,
Yeah.
rather than the old school guys who just smoke one particular brand constantly for years and years. I think the new cigar smokers are more adventurous, wanting to try different things, just like the craft beer industry.
Yeah, very much so.
Everybody wants to try new things, and I'm finding when I go to a beer distributor, people are buying 6-packs of different items rather than whole cases now, and I'm finding that true in the cigar world. Guys are buying 5-packs of different brands.
Yeah, I like to do that too. Actually, I don't buy boxes that often, But anyway, I'm just so glad this worked out, and they did a great job. Kudos to Drew Estate, Willie Herrera, John Huber, Jonathan Drew, Mike Condor, all the guys at Crown Heads and Drew Estate. And I want to thank you for watching. We're going to keep smoking this thing, and I think we're going to nub this one
for sure.
Yeah. So Khuong, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to follow Cigar Advisor at cigaradvisor.com. Sign up for our email list. You can also follow us on Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram, and you can follow us on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you like the cigar, you just like this subject, please make sure you follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to that and ring the little bell so you get our videos when they come up, and we appreciate that very much. And make sure you comment too. We like the feedback from people. So anyhow, thanks for watching. See you next time on #Nowsmoking. Happy smokes.